Greetings, everyone. Tommy Hawksblood here. I got some sad news today. I got 3 emails, 3 texts from Tina. She has the virus. She works in a zoo. She had to get the shots, but now she's sick for 3 days already, and she has the virus. So my prayers go out to her. She has enough problems with being radioactive, which my last guest kind of denied and said no. But people, before we go into much other things, I just want to bring that out. We have a Geiger counter, and this person was telling us blah blah blah. It doesn't read that or anything. Well, here it is. We both have the same one. We used to bring it out like 15 minutes before the show ended, and she would go over her body with it. And mine, the top goes off with my computer. Hers, the bottom goes off when she puts it next to her body. The person we had on says, "Oh, it's not real. That's just reading some." I said, "Funny, it doesn't go off on anybody else on the planet, so it's not reading radiation." I know personally in Hawaii, where I tested mine, we have 2 cell towers 6 miles from my house. The one of them, which is actually all basically 5G now, doesn't set it off. But the old one, which was the original AT&T tower, it's radioactive all around the lot. Funny, when I drive down the road, there's a place where they dropped a bunch of bombs a long time ago and buried them. And my thing goes off right away. So it's not reading radiation, really. So, but when she puts it next to her body, it goes off, sometimes really high. So her immune system has to be compromised. I keep saying that the aliens are protecting her because I don't think she'd be alive with all the radiation she had. She has all the symptoms of it. But so much for Tina. My prayers are for her. I hope she's getting better. Hope she will get better soon. But she has enough going on without getting that on top of it all. But we'll see. We got a lot of things. She said England was being affected greatly. The new third part of the virus came in, started ramping through the country. So she might have the third part of it. People, I don't want to get into that because I lost my show for 2 weeks, and they gave me a last warning. I'll lose my show completely. So I'm not going to talk about it, but that's what happened to her. All right. I'm going to go into a couple things. I wish she was here. I always wish she was here. Her book is coming out. Everybody should get it, read it. I'm sure she's going to do part 2 of it because I don't think she was able to put everything she wanted into part 1. But she has more evidence than 99% of the people in the UFO world that say they've been abducted. I trust her 100%, people. She's one of the few people on this planet that I trust enough to keep her on my show for over a year. So I did a show with TJ Morris for many years, but it was on and off all the time. And we really didn't agree on much on anything because she said she created the word ascension. And I don't think anybody on this planet truly understands what ascension even means. We got New Age people talking about it. I'll talk about some spiritual things near the end, but I want to bring something up really important to me. It should be to the world. It should be to everybody. About Putin a bunch of times. I don't think I ever got one reply, one question, or one answer, anything about it. When Putin said on Russian TV, months before Trump was elected, he wanted Trump, and he said it, I want Trump to release the truth about 9/11. Why would he say that? Think about it, people. Russian TV, he's telling the people, Trump has to come out and tell the truth to the world what happened at 9/11. Then he said, I want Trump to come out and tell the world what they're doing with aliens. Months before he was elected. Why would he say that? And then Putin said this, people. Mr. Putin, we are dealing with 27 alien races. 2 of them want to destroy the planet. How would anybody know a race wants to destroy a planet unless they were already fighting them? Which I know they have been. So have the United States. And we can't talk about that. And we won't. Disclosure, because of Mr. Stephen Greer, is what he thinks he's bringing out, is bringing out a lot of stories, fairy tales, and everything else along the way. Good aliens. Tina would be a little bit different about certain things, but she says they're not good. which many people say. I could take these off. I don't know if it helps. My eyes are really bad, and they're not getting better. I'm thinking about getting eye surgery on one eye at least, so I could see. All right, but here's the thing: aliens are not good people. No matter who says it, no matter where it comes from, they're much older than us, much more advanced technology wise than we are or ever will be. Now, in the United States, people alone, the US government doesn't release things between 25 and 50 years of when they create it. I can go into the technology they have, but you might not believe me, and I don't try to talk against the government. They're moving forward, technically, every which way, weapon wise, energy wise, all those things. But I mean, there was just a story out about how Putin has these devices in our computerized systems for our energy internet in the United States, and they can't get them out. Call them bugs, call them what you want, and they know they're there, which means they could take out our grid work real fast. If that happens, we are in serious trouble. But I don't want to get into that. But the truth's out there if you look and search hard enough. Let me just say something here, open it up. All right, people. Uh, there's so many things going on inside our government, which people don't understand. Check out the word D directed, E energy, W weapon. Where are they using it right now? Where are they testing it? Check it out. It's out there. Check out earthquake chart because the person I can't find his name, but he talks about earthquakes every day. He shows where, when, shows how it's going to happen, why more are going to happen. But he showed exactly where they were using the directed energy weapon. People, there's places to look. Even look under the government files. They're public. If you get into them, you could read a lot of things that's not publicly put out online. All right, and you should, about the virus, about testing, about weapons, about where they are, what we have. But for Putin to ask us to tell the truth about that, did he? I mean, he didn't say what races he's working with, or which bad ones are the bad ones, or which ones are bad ones. But I'm going to get to something really important about that. But I'm going to just get you a little more caught up. I got a text on one of my sites, and the guy goes, "Do you believe in underground cities? How would they do that? How do they do anything? How do you think they're building a city on Mars? Think about it, people. 5 years, Musk wants to put 1 million people up on Mars. 1 million people, not 5, 10, 100, 1 million. All right, think about that, people. How are they going to get all that stuff up there in that short frame of time? Well, let me tell you this. I'll read the question in a second. This is advanced technology. We have 2 ships capable of traveling to Mars and back. We had them for over 25 years, people. When Area 51 and all those stories came out, which people have no awareness, the few people that came out and said things about it are denied and they don't believe. All right, here's the thing. Check out the Delphi and the Aurora. All right, where they are. I mean, you might hear, well, they're make-believe ships. There are stories about them. The government doesn't release anything important for at least 25 years. Because if you go into war with a country, you tell them what weapons you have? I can tell you this. I'm going to give you all this information. I mean, I usually don't do it when I'm with Tina, but here's the thing. You need to check out UN Agenda 21-30. It's real, people. 193 countries agreed on it. It means one new world order, one controlling government. All right, what's that mean? Well, it's kind of like if you read Revelations and the end times, what that means as well. They both go together because basically it's talking about population depletion and everything else around that. moving people from the country into a city where they can control them. All these kind of things. It's really bad. And it's real, people. If this show gets censored, I will leave YouTube because this is real important facts that are real. I'm not lying. I'm not cheating. I'm not making fun of people. I'm telling you the truth. I know people don't like the truth. People don't like the truth out. You think Trump wants any of the truth to come out about him? I mean, why are these rich, big name presidents and people buying islands and setting up their home there? Why? You need to search out what Trump's doing, his island, why he's going to be there, why he's doing it, why these other presidents all bought these islands. You know, Bush was buying an island that it had water. I wonder why. So, people, there's so many things going on, and you're being pushed to watch somebody slap somebody at the awards, the biggest news and information. I don't believe in comedy. Comedy makes fun of people, and I don't think that's funny. I remember, and I just brought it up to somebody. Said, "Do you watch Saturday Night Live? They make fun of everybody." I was watching. I mean, I wasn't watching. My brother and all his friends were watching it, and I can't even think of the singer's name. He moves his hands like this. He kind of looks like he's got some kind of situation. Well, and they were making fun of him. I am so bad with names. Sorry, people. I have dementia. Not dementia. I have things when I was little. I see things backwards, and I can't retain a thought and all those kind of things. But oh man, he died. He got on drugs and died. His brother did a lot of movies. All right. Well, he was making fun of him, and he's going like this. You know, I don't believe you have the right to do that. You shouldn't. If you have a brain, you have a compassion of any level, you wouldn't do things like that. They make fun of everybody. All right, the president. But if you and me do it, we're in trouble. But see, now a comedian is an accepted person to make fun of things. So for him to get slapped for making fun of somebody, well, guess what? That's what they do. Go back to the older comedians. That's all they did. They would make fun of all the people in the audience, even. And cursing. I mean, how many times you have to hear the F word in a 100, 200 times in an hour? I don't even use the word. I don't curse. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. So that's where I'm at. Do I expect other people to believe in or do that? No. Because they can't survive. They can't deal with reality. If you drink, it's to be social. To who? To what? You're not normal? When you're normal, you're not sociable? You have to get drunk to be sociable? You have to be drunk to get along with other unsociable people. I mean, parties, when people get drunk. I mean, there's always fights. There's always horrible things. I can go into all those kind of things. Now, what's that have to do with anything? Getting back to the main reason why I'm doing this show today without Tina and what I'm going to be talking about. There's something that was on TV many years ago. It was cut up. Whitney Schreiber, if you know who he was on it. And they had this dark room with an alien in the room. And they were asking it questions. And the alien's doing this. All right. Whitney Schreiber goes, "Oh, what did they do to the alien? What did they do to the alien?" All right. This was a long time ago. I texted him about 100 times in the past 2 weeks. He put out a book on Jesus. I said, "You get it. You ever grow a pair of balls? Please, I want to talk to you or debate you. Either one, live or offline." But it was an hour special. People watched it. I don't know what people thought about it. A lot of people said it's fake alien, fake this, fake that. All right, I'm going to tell you this. From everything I know and everything I deal with, it was 100% real. Watch the full version online. It's up. It was put up. Ask what they asked that alien. Listen to what they asked the alien. So it's saying they're so good and everything else. Listen to what he says. Now, it's his belief system of his race. All right. But listen to it. You need to. I'm not going to go into everything he says. You have to watch that first, then text me, call me, email me, whatever you want. But he does get into the most horrible idea that you could imagine, the end of the world of humans. And he said, one person's going to do it. And he wouldn't tell them what one person it was, and they were shocking them and torturing them and everything else. It's real people. The government says, oh, we'll take them out. They take so many people out. 1996 was the year I was still working. I just started working with Sergeant 18, and we started lecturing for global sciences. We did a TV show, Strange Universe. He showed a video then, 1996, of a ship coming along, stopping, shooting 3 ships out, and then shooting out. Not a tic tac, not a tic tac, a real ship. Not a Russian ship, not a Chinese ship, not a German ship, a real UFO with aliens driving it. Not little people from China or something like that. All the ridiculous stories they put together to cover up what's going on. All right, I know the government can't come clean. They can't. They can't say what Truman and Eisenhower agreed and allowed to happen. Or we would lose all connection to our government. Not that MJ-12 doesn't have control over the whole planet and what they do and deal with. But there's so many things that are happening and go against every moral that we have. In space, we were all supposed to be one group of people, not like German, Russian, Chinese. Space station was supposed to be open for everybody. But now, like, China wants to take over the moon. Musk wants to take over Venus? Really? We're living in a really strange time. And I'll get into that later. I don't know how long I'm going to do this show. But like I said, I'm in the mood for it right now. I debated somebody all morning already. So my energy's up. And I like to scream. My partner's here, so I can't. Oh, well, why scream? You ever go to an evangelist church or born-again Christian church? There's thousands of people in there. And what do you hear? Well, now, I'm going to teach you. You can hear that. And it goes into your mind because if you're like, well, you jump up and you wake and you listen. Whether it's real information or not, it doesn't matter. The shock treatment that people do. And there's a lot of words. And I learned hypnosis when I was 12, started doing it when I was 14. I learned it from Kreskin. He was going around the United States doing a lot of hypnosis, mind reading, and stuff in the schools and things like that. That's where I met him. I worked with him a couple of times, and then I started doing it. He called it the power of suggestion, meaning if I tell you in a nice way and get you to listen, if you do this, you're going to see God. If you do this, you're going to get rid of all your karma. If you do this, you can talk nice and say nice words and make people believe you, no matter what the lie is. If I tell you the truth, you're not going to listen because you're already programmed against it. Programming people is done by your family, it's done by the government, it's done by TV, and it's done by aliens. Any one of them could have their role in it. Let me just read this thing. Hold on. Here's the thing somebody wrote about a dream. Dreams, and there's different aspects and states of your dream state. Lucid dreaming happens usually in the middle of the night. That opens a gateway because in lucid dreaming people, and I'm telling you this, your soul, this thing that's right there, all right, soul steps out of the body. The body doesn't die, nothing like that. But soul steps out of it. When a soul steps out of the body, time changes for soul. Soul could do incredible things in a matter of minutes when it steps back into the body. But here's the problem with all the important things. Mind. That little thing that's inside your head, which is a program. It's a computer chip. Just look at your mind as a computer chip, not an aware being. It's a computer. It learns what it's taught and programmed. The rest of the stuff comes from its dreams. Most awareness in dream state creates inventions and all that. Tesla, Tesla worked with aliens as well. Uh, any inventor, all right, usually gets it in a dream state, and then they bring it out to the physical reality. All right. Now there's a place called it's on the astral plane. It's called the Akashic Records. You can travel there in your astral body and pull up inventions. You can do a lot because everything that exists is basically there. I can't go into detail. You'd have to experience to even understand it. You can see your past, present, and future. Right? All those things exist. You have no right interfering and going into somebody else's, like reading somebody else's book there of what they are, who they are, where they came from. Nobody has that right. I mean, people try to do that. I'm not going to go into psychics that much because I'm against 90%, 95% of them are doing something against the spiritual laws. All right. Then again, if you were a healer, right? You could heal people, heal the world. Jesus couldn't do that. And he was the most spiritual being ever to walk this planet. Ever. All right. Now, there's people that were spiritual in their own right, in their own mind, talking about things. But now, and I'm not making this into a religious thing. I'll get back to the other part of it. But remember, Jesus was born, 2,000 years ago. Love did not exist before that. Oh, no, love was always here. No, it wasn't. It was never here after Atlantis was destroyed. Now, people in Atlantis had 32 psychic abilities. You didn't have to, you could read, everybody read each other's thoughts, minds, feelings, emotions. You didn't have to know. You couldn't cheat, couldn't steal. We didn't eat animals. We didn't do a lot of things that we accepted after Atlantis was destroyed. Who destroyed it? 2 alien races. And we weren't created by the Anunnaki, which is the most ridiculous belief system. Now, people want to believe anything written in stone, cardboard, paper, skin, if it's old. So I should go back in a time machine, go back to the beginning, write a book, and then everybody will believe it. Why? Because it's old? Did they have that much awareness? They don't even know what a pyramid is for now. And these people way back then had the truth of what? God? They didn't even know what God was. Jesus created the idea of a real singular God. Hinduism was the first real religion on the planet. And they followed deities. Deities are real, people. I call them little gods. Not God, little gods, because they each work in a certain realm. There's 5 realms to where soul dwells. When you die and soul becomes fully aware, which it takes a super long time, you might be on the astral plane, the causal plane, the ever plane, 3rd, 4th, 5th planes, till you get to the 5th plane, and then you could stay there. But people, if you didn't experience anything beyond the astral plane, you have no idea of a true God. Jehovah lives and dwells on top of the astral plane. He's there with, Lucifer's there. All right. Durga, not the written version of Durga in Buddhism. The true Durga, the being. She's the goddess there. She controls everything from that realm. Each realm has a god. The astral plane has 4 because you got the most energy of negative beings coming back and forth and trying to get through. On the next realm, it's incredible. If you get the chance, work on it, and really put your attention on it, you can get to those realms. Now, I'm going to tell you things very few people on this planet know. And you don't have to believe me. But maybe sometime, some lifetime, you'll learn and see the truth. Aliens usually reincarnate into humans if they want to move forward. They live roughly 150 years, the average alien race. But when they die, they're reincarnating into humans. Now, that takes in all the words that mankind is accepting now. Walk-ins. Oh, I was alien. I am alien. Because their awareness of their last lifetime. If you don't believe in reincarnation, I really can't help you much with the truth. All right. I am telling you from my life of experience. I'm 69. I was 6 years old when I saw my first ship. It was coming to abduct my brother. I was seven, well, still 6.5, when I saw my first deity. It came to me from the time I was 6 to the time I was 11. It left me when I turned 12. Because my mother's telling me things don't exist, everything's not real, and blah, blah. And I stuck with I was a Protestant. And I went to get baptized at 14. At that time, when I was little, we were allowed to ask the minister 3 questions. And I was a rebel then as well. I asked him, "What's God look like?" "Well, nobody knows what God looks like." I said, "What do you do in heaven?" "Nobody knows what you do in heaven. Nobody knows what you do there. Nobody knows anything about it." I said, "If you don't believe in, understand what God is, or know anything about heaven, why would you pray to it? Praying to Superman, Batman, Green Hornet, a character, Mickey Mouse. Why? Why not? It's the same thing. If you don't know what it truly is, assuming anything, and that assuming comes from programming. Most people on this planet are programmed. I was on and off. I always fought every program that I had. All right, I committed suicide, didn't die. I had 5 death experiences as well. I spent half of my lifetime learning how to leave my body, and I only came to the awareness of why I came here in this lifetime 2 years ago. All that time. And now, let me tell you what karma is. When you do things that people say, well, there's no right or wrong. There is a right and wrong. There's good and bad. All right. When you do bad things, it creates karma. It's like a bank. Put money in a bank. You put money in a bank and it's stored there. And so is your karma. If you don't get rid of it, it will always be there. So until you start learning how to work off karma, it just grows. Mankind usually creates more than it gets rid of in any lifetime because of the passions of the mind. When soul sits into this body, the mind controls it. I can go into techniques and all that, but not here, of how to go beyond it, to understand it, to see it, to change it. Because the mind will never get you anywhere spiritual. Ever. Money will not get you anything either. I know people are going to come and go. On my site, I know people get a little truth and they don't like it. They want to believe in Buddha. They want to believe in Muhammad. They want to believe in these people. What did they do to make the world better? Really? Jesus tried, but he was killed. But he had to die. See, people don't even understand that why he died. Well, he died for our sins. No, he didn't. People would be out without sin if that was true. It means you go out and kill people and nothing would happen. Christians, if you're listening to this, go in your Bible, open up Revelations, and look at John telling you what sins can't be forgiven. Seriously. Oh, I went to Catholic. I went to church on Friday and I forgive all my sins. Really? Oh, I killed somebody, but I just told the priest and I said 10,000 Hail Marys, so now it's over. No, it's not. And they don't believe in reincarnation because they don't want to face the truth. Very few people do. In this lifetime or any lifetime. That's why you're still here. I can tell you all my lifetimes. I had many. But I will tell you one thing that allows me to be where I am right now. That very few people can touch. I never killed somebody in a lifetime. I'm not talking about self-defense and things like that, but I'm talking about killing, in the idea of killing. All right? When you become a gladiator, when you become a warrior, when you become a fighter, go join the and you're told to kill people, and you kill people because somebody told you to do it. Imagine everybody didn't listen to the government about killing people. There'd be no war. There'd be no power for the government either. So, mankind accepted the idea. Well, and that was because when Atlantis went down, the alien races that came here programmed the human race. They didn't create us. They just gave us more sick programs to follow. When people come out, all these people, the good aliens, well, there's good and bad in every race. No, there's not. Hey, just in case you don't know where you're living on this planet, it's called hell. Hell. Oh, no, it's not. We go to hell. No, you're in hell. You're trying to get out. No, people are trying to stay here. Mr. Oh, where's that box? I'll spell it because I can't say it. Bezos, Bezos, however you say it, Jeff. So he is paying a bunch of scientists to make us live forever. Why? Because you don't want to go to a better place. You like it here. Now, the other words that people don't like, which relate to aliens as well, Satan. Satan controls this realm, meaning all the universes and galaxies in this lower realm. Scientists are playing in this realm. They're not playing in the astral plane yet. CERN is trying to break that barrier to get into the astral plane, but they're not going to get past that because the little gods, will not let that happen. All right, people, the truth's out there. Can you deal with it? Or would you rather pay a couple $100, go to a UFO conference, or go listen to some preacher preach a bunch of nothingness? Love each other. Do we love each other? We barely love our family. We barely can stay in a relationship. And we're going to love the whole world? What planet are you living on? Hell. Nothing like that's going to happen. After Atlantis, now realize, God created Atlantis for a reason. It gave us total freedom, total ability to do anything. And it was working fine. But the alien races didn't like that. And they had to destroy it. And then they fed us how to eat animals, how to sacrifice, and all those horrible words. Where we are, we did not get better in 30,000 years. We haven't created one spiritual thing. Not one. We created cars, spaceships, planes, all those kind of things, earth-boring machines and things, but we didn't create one thing spiritual. Not one thing that makes the planet better. Free energy? It's sucking the energy from somewhere. But we can't even use that because even electric cars are going to be using a lot more energy to create the energy to power the electric cars. We lie and we cheat and we tell each other more stories to make ourselves believe more ridiculous things. Cool. I don't know if anybody's in the chat room reading it. Check out the last statement. I won't go into that online, but if you ever want to talk to me on Skype or somewhere, we can. This dragon's here, people. Seriously. Not solid. Not completely solid like we are. I can go into that. Sergeant 18 and I, we were up in Montauk. We were together in, the end part of New Jersey, which is like right next to New York. It's called Wanacue. The government has a base there. Tesla worked there with DuPont. I can tell you the whole story. Very few people can talk about that in any great depth. The books that came out are twisted lies, half-truth, and based on partial awareness. I'm not going to go into that, not here. But I might do a show separate on that. I don't know how far I get. That's something that's really into the government. So I really don't want to go there with that. But it was the most dangerous, most horrible thing that happened to the planet in the UFO world. Simple. They opened up a vortex. That vortex is allowing all this negative creatures, entities, and everything else to come into this reality. All right. That's all I'll say about it. And nobody talks about that. Why, over the past 5 years, watch any show on TV, all these things about ghosts, spirits, and things, what they're seeing, what they're filming, even if some of them are fake, Remember, even if it's 1 out of 100, if one's real, it's real. So, what's happening to the planet is scary if you are aware of what's really going on. If you live in La La Land, which most people do, oh, it's going to get better. Musk is going to make this place better. Gates is going to make this place better. Really? With their programmed awareness? Again, I'll repeat it because if rich people don't hear it over and over, they won't believe it, but they won't believe it anyway. Because, I mean, even if they're a Christian, they probably don't even remember reading that in the Bible. And I'm telling you this from an awareness of past life I had. Jesus said it many times. Many times. He related it to a scenario where they could understand. It's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich person to get into heaven. And they called that this canyon where they had to walk through it, and it was like real dangerous and everything. But it was just a scenario to show them what he was trying to say, because people didn't understand heaven either. People didn't understand God. He had to use the word Father. All right, you're dealing with farmers, fishermen, people that worked on horseshoes and things like that. They didn't have awareness of much other than that. They weren't scholars and things. Only two people around Jesus' time, around Jesus, were able to even write. I mean, they weren't taking shorthand and they weren't recording it and copying it and all that. No, being able to write. I mean, rich people had to. But poor people didn't get to go to schools or anything important. And the poor people are still the slaves to the rich people on this planet. And that's why he said it's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich person to get into heaven. What is heaven? Another word they didn't know. He explained it. He explained about the rooms in the next realm. People don't understand that either. So to think today, after all that time that went by, 2,000 years, mankind's no better, less aware than ever. At least when Jesus was alive, if you looked him in the eyes, you would change. Just about everybody that actually looked into his eyes changed and suddenly realized that there was a God. All right, he never claimed to be God. It wasn't about him being God. It was about him teaching you how to find God. And that's why people didn't like him. I mean, the churches and stuff, they had their programs and they didn't want him to find the truth. When the Bible was created, they picked 4 Gospels for what? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Funny, only 2 of them were Jesus' disciples. The other 2 were evangelists, meaning they weren't Jesus' disciples, just what it says. One followed Peter, and the other one followed Paul. If you know anything about Paul in the Bible, he never got to be with Jesus physically, ever. He met with him in vision form. So if you believe his story, if I told you I had a vision, why wouldn't you believe my story? Well, I'm not in the Bible. Really? See, people are so programmed to believe that a person that writes something is writing the truth. Where did they get it? The Emerald tablets, the Sumerian tablets, the Urantia, those kind of things. The Urantia was written, what, how many years ago? But what are they talking about? Where did they get that knowledge from? Did anybody go through time to see and understand when they talk about Enoch and the whole conception of Moses' father and this, that, and the other thing? Really? Now, when you relate to the story of Adam and Eve, if you believe that, even the Pope said it was not real, but it might happen somewhere if you want to believe it. But where? Because, okay, we change time frames going from that to the present. We're so different. But there was races, different colored races then. Sure, you can breed with the other race and combine your DNA and all that stuff. But you don't change from a white person to a red person to a black person to a green person to a blue person, purple person. All right, and there's multiple races, different colors. They didn't stay. They knew Atlantis was going down. They left. See, the awareness out of the people in this reality now, the human race is more advanced spiritually if they wanted to be. They aren't, but they could be. Alien races can't become spiritual. You're not going to see anything spiritual coming from an alien if you think you decide to talk to him. He's not going to tell you how to find God, understand God. They don't know much. And even the people from Venus, I don't know if you know the story of Thor, uh, Valiant Thor, that went to the White House that had superpowers and everything, that was from Venus. Alnek uh, also came from Venus when she was 6 here, took on a body. What they say, what they talk about, sure. I mean, Alnek had a religion in mind to help create. Thor had something else different when he was working with the government. But their truth is, they killed the ant people. And now you hear the stories of native people work for the ant people and blah, blah, blah. All right. They're great stories. But, native people never got help. Not from star beings, not from anybody, not from Bigfoot. The stories are crazy because mankind accepts it. It's not getting better, people. With Stephen Greer creating this big center with all these millions of dollars. Why? Because I don't want to go into detail about him. Can't put people down. But just look at what he's doing. Millions of dollars to build the place for UFO people to go. So he could open up classes on how to talk to aliens. Oh, I need to talk to my alien today, see what he's got to tell me. Really? People go to psychics every day. What's happened? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Like they really know? Yeah, you can see, when a psychic reads, they're reading energy. You have energy around you. We all do. When you read that energy, you get some of this and some of that, and you get other energy from other things. They even read their own energy. When you deal with hypnosis, you hypnotize everything around you and the person you're dealing with. So very little of that reading is 100% true. All right. So when we come into reality now, and people say that the Anunnaki are here, they're going to come back. Why? They're gone. The United States has learned how to take out the reptilians, the Greys. Now, the Mantis are a smaller race, but they're usually the captain of any ship. The biggest one of the ships is always a Mantis on it, controlling it. Kind of like if you watch Star Wars and Jabba, the big blob up in the top, that was the head thing. Kind of very much the same. But see, people that do those stories take information that they're aware of. All right. If you can imagine that, or if you can understand that. All right. But the races that are here, destroying, taking over people. I was just talking to somebody. The parks in the United States don't have to report how many people go missing. And I mean go missing by a car pulls up, they pull into the campground. 3 hours later, the whole family's gone. There's no mountains or cliffs for them to fall off. There's no giant jungle for them to run through. You'll hear stories where the parent turned around, and the child was gone, and they never found the child. It's super high numbers in a year's time, people. Do you believe it's the goblins gobbling up, Bigfoot coming out and eating them? What do you believe? What do you even know? What do you even have a clue about? Why all these people go missing in parks? I'm telling you, abduction is one. And abduction doesn't mean you have to come back. They could take you. They could eat you. They could use you. And they usually use you for whatever they need. And it's not for your brain. It's not for your spiritual truth. This is something that people have to understand. Any race, creature that has a physical, solid body needs to eat. I mean, a roach could live a year without eating. Can you? I mean, people that go on to drinking liquid, just water for a year, they can do that. You can. You lose all. Have to make up all the energy that you're not getting through the sun and different things. But why? People think because they do certain things, it becomes spiritual. Another word, ridiculous. What does spiritual mean? Very few, very few people have an awareness of what it means. I ask a person, everyone I meet, what's spiritual mean to you? Oh, I'm spiritual. I said, why? They can't answer it. They don't even have a inkling of what they could say to make it prove that they're spiritual. All right, Lamora was right after Atlantis was destroyed. Lamora was another island, people and stuff. Uh, History doesn't know much about it. They don't know anything about pyramids. They don't know anything about past history other than what they dig up. On that, aliens can implant anything in the ground or a cave or anywhere to change history. Read Billy Meyer's story. Read The Town of Jamad, which is a story about the gospel he found in a cave. That was the story of Judas, story. Read these things, how information comes out. Now, realize when they took Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, there was 40 books there, and they chose those 4. Mary Magdalene's book's different. Thomas's book's different. Judas's book's different, and they have more truth about things that were going on. That the people creating the Bible didn't want that kind of information out. So where do aliens fit into all this? Well, right now it's a matter of making the planet radioactive. So if a nuclear war happens, they're not going to be crying about it. Greys live underground. They can't live above ground. All right? Reptilians can't live here until it's radioactive. So guess what's going to happen to the planet? Why do you think they're building underground cities? What do you think the government's doing? We're cloning greys. Why? Why would we want to clone a gray? Because if the world's radioactive, we can't go out there and do anything about it. Greys can. They are radioactive. When people go on a ship and everything, suddenly there's no effects of radiation. Look at the show I did with Tina. She's radioactive. Her dog died of radioactive material in its bone. How did it get it? Where did it get it? I asked her. She didn't know if the dog was ever taken with her. So there's truth out there. Are you ready to look for it? Or do you want to hear somebody tell you a story? Oh, well, the aliens told me we're going to do this. Oh, they're going to help us with that. Help us with what? When? You know, I use a simple scenario. Do you believe in karma? If you don't, that's a different story. All right. When do you step in? Okay, you have a child. He's what, 6 years old. You're walking down your street with your child, and you come into the corner. The light's green, and he starts walking off the curb, and it turns red. Do you let your son walk out into the street and get hit by a car, or do you stop him? Well, it's his karma. He's got to learn. He's got to learn what? To die? We go through a lifetime, and very few people learn a thing. Getting money, getting a house, getting a great job, having lots of children doesn't give you anything spiritual. What gives you something spiritual? Think about it. What person on this planet is spiritual? Don't say the Pope. Don't say Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, Dalai Lama. Don't say those words. Who is spiritual? Saying words, an elder native person said to the people that were harassing him, words are just words until they add up to something. You can say a lot of stuff, but if it doesn't make anything happen or change anything, it is useless, isn't it? If a psychic comes out and says this is going to happen, and it happens, and they didn't do a thing about it, it's useless. Well, the reason why I say that, I have 2 friends, both prophesized 9/11. One of them in complete detail of everything that happened 1 year before it happened. Neither one of them was standing out in front of the White House or the the Trade Center to say don't go in. So, you know, a given to a person that's supposedly to act on it. I mean, if you believe in Bible stories, Lot, he was given a vision. I mean, even Noah was given a vision. Angels aren't teachers, people. I mean, the Muslims say Muhammad studied with Gabriel. They weren't teachers. They didn't come down here to teach. They come down with a message. And the message is usually a deathly warning for reality. So if Noah didn't listen, guess what would have happened? I mean, they found parts of the ship, then they don't want to talk about that. And you go into other things, like even the Ark of the Covenant. Nobody knows where the true Ark of the Covenant is. And we got a person in the UFO world. I have one. And he's going to link it to the one that the government has so he can change the vibration of the whole planet. Like he has the right to do that. People like to step on other people. And that's the first spiritual law you cannot go against. The karma you create with that is so dangerous. All right. People, I do this show to get you to think about truth, not stories and not about what make believe things can happen or going to happen. What is really going to happen? UN Agenda 21-30. All right. I'm not saying anything could be changed. Since the Montauk Project and the Philadelphia experiment, we went back in time. And that was given to Tesla, and he gave it to the world. And we created it. All right. What we did when we went back in time, and I was friends with the only person that really did. I mean, there's 4 or 5 other people that say they do. Even Laura Eisenhower said she went to Mars with the president. Again, the person who was involved with the Philadelphia experiment was one of the only people that truly went back and came back and went back and came back. All right. Somebody was killed. It was somebody in government was killed then. And he's dead. He told me when he was going to die. He said they can't kill him until a certain date. All that. I'm not going to get into that whole thing either. I know much more about a lot of things than most people do. Call it being in the right place at the wrong time, the wrong place at the right time, right place at the right time, however you want to word it. I've been there, went through it, and saw it and did it. Death, you name it, all those things. All right. I'm not going to keep going with the show today. I miss Tina. I wish she was here. I hope she's going to get better soon. And I don't want to go into anything I can't because I will lose the show. So what I'm dealing with right now is trying to talk to people that don't care about the truth. I got a few people that listen and listen on different times and stuff because they can't come in right now. But I mean, I never had I don't know what the proper word. The guy that I brought on was the first time I had somebody on that I totally disagreed with. And if I knew that was what he was going to say, he would never came on. When he said he had dollars, millions and millions of dollars, and they're building a space station here on the planet for aliens to come down, and they could communicate with government powerful people. Really? Do they need to? Do they need to talk to the president? Do they need to talk to Putin? Do they need to talk to anybody? Why? Well, we want a peaceful meeting. Really? That'll never happen. If they were giving us gold bricks, we might pretend we're friends with them. So, this is what you can do for yourself. Get a piece of paper out and a pen, pencil. Ask yourself, what's the most important thing in your lifetime? My wife, my children. Okay, why? What happens when you die? What do you leave them? Memories? All right. Then on a paper, put God is on one side and God is not on the other. On the side that says God is, you can't put everything. No, you have to list what God is. On the other side, List what God isn't. If you can come up with one idea what God isn't, think about it. Do it. And then put it on a piece of paper. What does spiritual mean? These are the things that will open the soul to aware, to think about it. The mind can't understand spiritual, doesn't understand God, doesn't understand much at all. When you leave your body, your mind's here. It's not going with you. Soul has its own awareness, and it is individual. Goes against Buddhist teachings and what a lot of people believe. We're one consciousness. The New Age world, when that stepped in, we're all part of the universe. We're all part of everything, but we're not. It's like saying when you put a drop of water in the ocean, is it part of the ocean or is it still a drop? It gets dispersed among the water. It doesn't stay that one drop. So does it become awareness of the ocean? Think about yourself, what you are, what you're becoming, what you want to leave when you leave, what you want to know before you do. And that's where your attention should be. What are you going to attain? What are you going to do to make transition from this reality to whatever you do in your next one? Anything? Do you know how to say goodbye, really? Do you want to say goodbye? Of course not. Very few souls want to leave this world. Like, rich people don't, because they have no idea, because they won't be able to stay in heaven. So why would they want to go there? Well, I'm a good rich person. I donated a lot of money. Churches and places always demand 40%. Do you think any rich person spending 40% of their money? Except there's always one that breaks the rules. I saw this story of a younger person, multimillionaire. They think he will be the first trillionaire. He walks the streets and gives $100 bills to everybody. He'll donate to any good cause. I was going to ask him to donate to me so I could open up a church. But again, he donates to any good cause. He says, I don't do this for money. I don't need money, because he's already super rich. But he gives and gives and gives without the desire of saying, I need more money. I need more money. But he found a way to make $1 million every day. He'll buy $1 million worth of shares, sitcom, whatever, different kind of make-believe coins, and sell them to another country, double the money, and he just makes $1 million in a half hour. So how many times can he do it in a day? How many times does he want to do it in a day? How many times does he want to do it in a week? But he can become a trillionaire real easy. I mean, he's going to need to do it soon. The money situation is going to change when the UN agenda takes full force. It's slowly doing it. Now, it's not just money. It's not just food. The abortion thing, I don't know if you've been following that or not, if you believe in abortion or not. They're trying to stop anybody from getting an abortion. 3 states are trying to pass a bill that says if you're pregnant, you can't leave your state. I don't know how they can enforce that. Or they're going to put a link on your arm or your leg so that they can track you while you're pregnant. We're losing everything we think we have, which is nothing, meaning freedom. People, I hope you got something out of today. Please send this link to everybody you know. Tell them if they want to talk to me, debate me, ask me questions, go on Skype. Hawksblood 11, HAWKSBLOOD 11, 11. All right. So till next time. I hope Tina's with me. Hope everything's okay where you are. Now they're trying to push. Oh, I can't say things. Sorry. So till next time, Tommy Hawksblood here. Have a good day. Have a good night wherever you are. Tina is always about 11 hours different than I am. So it's a different time frame for her when she talks, when I'm talking. But people, keep your faith. Believe in what you want to believe in, but search for the truth always. Because we're fed a lot of false information and we create our truth from that. and usually it's not beneficial. So, with that, people, till next time, have a merry day. Go out and do something, think about it, do that paperwork. Till next time.